Hey kids, how's it going?
It's been a while.
Yeah, today it's just me and Madison on the docket. I don't know if that's for some people that might be really exciting. For some people that might sound chaotic. I think that both reactions are reasonable.
I think it's
Um,
probably going to be chaotic because we have no one to mediate us.
Not at all. No one to stop and be like, but aren't we all friends? But luckily,
Right.
I think that we might have an understanding on this. Um,
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we're gonna talk about Reminiscence. This is the big movie that's come out for like the weekend. The weekend we're recording this, basically, came out on HBO as well as in theatrical release. I really hope no one paid to go see this.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about actually going to the theater and seeing it, and then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get high and watch it at home.
I
And that was the
wonder.
right choice.
I wonder if it would have elevated it, just because. Well, first off, I do want to say this: there's holograms in this movie, and they are real. This isn't CGI. They made a hologram machine for this film, so all the holograms in the movie are real. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's a new technology. The girl who the woman. Let me slow my roll here. I usually say the guy, but I can't just call this director a girl. This is a director. This is a woman in directing. She directed it, and she also worked on the show Westworld, where she did a lot of her own practical effects for that show. And she thought it'd be a
And
nice exercise to physically make a hologram like technology they can use for the film. And now it's being patented out to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns that technology.
that's crazy. Capitalism, yay.
Yeah,
But
exactly. It did look cool though.
it did. I mean, it did look cool, and I would say that about a lot of movies that it looked cool. I mean, it had that.
There is, okay, regardless of what we think of the movie, though, there is a filmmaking aspect that should be acknowledged. The fact that she engineered literal holograms in order to elevate the quality of the movie is something I wish she would have done with the rest of the movie, but I at least appreciate that she did it for something in the
Yeah,
movie.
for sure. And I mean, without getting into it too much too early, but like I really enjoyed the setting and the aesthetics of this movie. Like there's something about that to like, but I just think on the
Yeah,
whole,
this movie's entirely aesthetic. I think you're right.
I wish that the film matched like the film, the story, the plot matched the level of the aesthetics and of the visuals and stuff. I wish that they were equal.
And yeah, and I think that's true. Like, I think like the first 20 minutes of this movie, you might think that you're in for something really cool because the whole plot lines around like this future where basically like obviously ice caps, all that shit. You know, we've fucked up the earth, so the water level in like Miami has just risen and sunk in the whole city. And that's really cool. And I here's the thing: I love noir films. You know this about me. It's like one of my favorite
too, yeah.
genres. Yeah, like we so exist in that David Fincher simpism. You know what I mean? Like we love this shit. So we
Yeah.
should have been the ones to love this. And I just feel like there were moments where I was like, oh, that would be really cool in like a good movie. But the issue is it's this dumb plot that is like
Yeah,
it
it's
had
just
times just infuriatingly like just stupid, like just dumb.
there are times when this movie is so boring for absolutely no
And
reason.
it's so long. It's like 2 hours of just fuck. Like damn it. And of course, like I'm hanging out with Franny, and like you know, like she's like had her day off yesterday, and we tried to watch a little bit of it. I tried to watch a little bit of it with her during the day. I ended up catching it up at night, but during the day, and she was so fucking bored by it. Which she never does this. She literally like invoked the whole "this is my day off. I'm not watching this bullshit."
Fair enough.
And it's fucking bad. Okay, so I think that I think a lot has to do, unfortunately, with the script, and a lot less to do with Hugh Jackman. But that doesn't mean he didn't annoy me.
I don't think it's any of the actors' fault. I think that they were
There's some
doing what they-
bad acting in here. The guy who is burned, he's terrible.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
awful.
true.
And really, the girl who plays May, who was also in Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman, she played like the lady that sung in like the big opera house and shit. You know,
I didn't see that movie, to be honest with you.
you never seen The Greatest Showman? It's got a bop
No.
soundtrack and a D- script.
Yeah, I didn't see that movie.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they both started together in that, and then they were together in this, and Like there's no chemistry between these two characters.
No, there's just nothing going on there. And
nothing.
I think Hugh Jackman might be gay. I'm a Hugh Jackman is gay truther.
You think Hugh Jackman just because he's a Broadway man, he's gay? What makes you think he's gay?
He just gives me gay vibes. I don't know what it is about him.
Isn't he married? Hold on.
You can be gay and married.
No, I know. I just wonder if he's married to a guy. What if there's no trutherism here? I'm not like a huge Hugh Jackman fan. Hold on. I'm gonna Google Hugh Jackman gay question mark. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I'm Googling.
But yeah, well, I also felt like that character didn't have a lot to do. Like, she was very much a nothing character. Like, I didn't care about her at all. I didn't give a shit what's going on with her. I don't know. She was just nothing to me. Like, is that just me? Was she nothing to you as well?
I just want you to know that Hugh Jackman's wife wholesale has addressed these rumors and will blast you on site.
Wow.
She's like,
I hope that Hugh Jackman's wife listens to this and then blasts me so we can get some clout.
I know, that'd be good. Hugh Jackman's wife, Deborah. Oh fuck. Maybe we're gonna give her some clout because I didn't know this name. Deborah Lee Furness.
Okay, but hear me out, Deborah. Why are you so defensive about it?
Apparently, according to this article, she said that he suffered a lot with people saying that he was gay or trying to pin him in the industry because he did a lot of Broadway shit. But the fact is, she said there's nothing gay inherently about Broadway.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, just because he's on Broadway doesn't make him gay. I could agree with that. You're loading.
I can agree with that, but she says there's nothing inherently gay about Broadway.
You sound insane. You're like loading very slowly. Like,
what? What's wrong?
Your thing is loading really slowly. Like everything you just said was in like macro speed.
Oh no! How is it now?
It's good now, but that was really weird. I don't think you even heard what I was saying during that time. I was like making fun of the way you sounded, and you were just like, "And Broadway is gay, baby."
Broadway is gay. I rest my case.
I mean, I don't think he's gay. I think that that's a bit of a stretch to just assume that he's gay because he did Broadway shows and in this one movie didn't have sexual chemistry with the woman opposite of him.
That's not why. He just gives me vibes. I can't explain it.
What do you mean? You don't even know. What does that even mean? That is so presumptuous.
It's the gaydar. It just gives you vibes.
I don't think so, but okay.
I think so. Sound off in the comments. Is Hugh Jackman gay?
Yeah, I mean, ignore his current wife and the fact that he's vehemently said he's not gay.
Everybody should get at Deborah or whatever so that she can yell at us and we can become famous.
That'd be good. If it means that we get famous, Deborah, I think your husband's gay.
Yeah, Deborah, your husband's so gay.
If that's the way it works, then Deborah's husband's been gay since day one because I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Right.
Okay, anyway.
We've been watching a lot of Degrassi lately. That really made me, I really wanted to burst into song, but I didn't.
It's so funny that you brought up like people who have been like accused of being gay for being on Broadway because like there's a whole tie-in here. So like Michael C. Hall, popular show about Miami, Broadway performer, everyone thinks he's gay. I'm starting to see a connection here.
Yeah.
This is in Miami.
It's all coming together.
It's a bit of a shit show, and everybody thinks Hugh Jackman's gay. Like the aesthetic of the movie, the part that I liked, bared no relevancy on the rest of the plot. Like other than the fact that like people are depressed because the world is sunken in, so we're all doing memory fucking junkie shit. I feel like this would have survived better as a video game.
Okay, that's really funny to me because the first thing that I wrote down in my notes for this movie is the beginning voiceover feels like a video game cutscene.
And like he's very like I should say she because it's a woman directed, so she's very masturbatory in the beginning with like just showing us skyline after skyline after skyline of all this sunken buildings. Like I fucking get it. You guys are gonna beat it into my head by the end of this. I understand it. The things are shitty there.
Yeah.
It's not even the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie is to ignore your problems and act like everything's fine. That's the message of the movie.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I didn't like the ending of this movie.
No, and the old aging makeup on both characters was fucking horrendous.
Oh, did we say? Okay, look, we have no one to keep us on track. We didn't even say that we were like a spoiler podcast.
Yeah, we didn't even. Yeah, okay, we're Crosscut Cinema. We spoil movies. If you want to listen to a review about a movie without it getting spoiled, this is not the one for you. But what I recommend is you either ignore the fact that you want to see this movie because it's bad. Definitely recommend just listening to this podcast. Or if you really want to see it, watch it first, come back and shit on it with us. Thank you.
Yes. This is who we are without our wives. We just forget to do all the important stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We just like start getting into the nitty gritty. I mean, this is, I would call this more of an analysis because the review that you're going to get from us is that it sucks. I'm just going to be honest. Like, we're going to say good things about it because we understand that like a movie is not just made to be total shit. There's people who try to make movies and there's things that they do well with, and we're going to acknowledge those things. But as a whole, did this movie accomplish the goal of being entertaining and being, you know, outstanding and like something that people would want to rewatch or talk about? Fuck no, it's bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch this again. I don't think, and I think it's a shame too because like this is one of those things where the technology of like how the movie was made is very interesting and like has the potential to do something really cool, but the movie that it exists in does not live up to it. And like, I feel like that happens. Like, you know, like the achievement of it is better than the movie itself. I feel that way about a lot of Chris Nolan films, like Dunkirk, for example. Or, like the achievement of like this huge movie is better than the movie itself, which I hate.
And do not mistake that they were trying to make a Nolan flick with this movie, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. This is an Inception wannabe. And I always think of like Boyhood. Like Boyhood is actually a pretty good movie. I wouldn't say it's like bad or anything, but what it accomplished versus like as far as like filming versus like how great the end product was is like such a major leap. Like that movie, they recorded the same boy throughout his entire childhood and used him aging as a part of the script. And it's like, that shit's really cool. But at the end of the day, it was just a boring movie about a kid in suburbia that I didn't really care about. I mean, it was good, but it's not something I'd ever revisit. This is like of a grosser look because I think that what they accomplish is so important, but it's like of the most boring movie ever. Like this movie was trying to be Chinatown, but it feels like Chinatown on like NyQuil. Like you're almost about to fall asleep the whole time.
I said, something I wrote in my notes was, it's kind of like Sin City meets Inception, but not good.
I could see that too. That's definitely, that's very fair as far as a comparison.
Because like, and I love Sin City. Like that's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, Sin City's good.
I love that vibe. I love those aesthetics. But like, it was just like boring here.
Yeah, and like, you know, this movie relies on so much aesthetics, but a lot of it with this movie is that it just doesn't feel genuine. Like it really feels like a product. They were like, we're gonna make a noir film. You know, you remember The Little Things? How like fake it felt. It's got that same veil of like, this is things that people like to watch. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make the, you know, the aesthetics like really like heavy and Fincherism and shit, and we're gonna make like this product that people are gonna like. And it's just it just missed one thing. It misses a soul. It doesn't have a soul at all.
Yeah, and like I think if you're gonna rely so heavily as this movie does on those like noir like tropes or those like noir cliches, you really have to find a way to, through the story, elevate it, because we've seen it before, because it's like very their genre convention, so you have to then elevate it, and this movie does not do that. Or
like if we I actually loved the aesthetic so much, I think I liked the movie better. Like the story yeah, what I'm saying is I think I'd like the movie better if it was just not really about much. Like the issue is they're trying to make it about so much and all this aesthetic, and there's nothing there. Like I literally would have preferred a slice of life film in this setting, just like seeing how people interact with the drownings and their fucking, you know, buildings being capsized. Like give us that, but give us characters that we can define with, not these mythically weird, overly romantic, psychotic people all addicted to, you know, like consistently addicted to drugs of some kind. Like It just isn't.
Yeah,
It's not that
like
it's not
weird.
It's not that it doesn't happen. It's just it's not very relatable, especially when like every character's like personality is turned on a dime for plot convenience.
Yeah.
Like,
and like
yeah, go ahead.
I feel like this movie's like the political landscape of the story is confused. I don't understand enough about it, and it makes me uncomfortable because it's like there's this whole like immigration thing, and obviously it's supposed to parallel our own, but then our character who we're supposed to sympathize with, Hugh Jackman, was like he took part in that. And like, yeah, he was drafted, but like I don't know what that looked like. Like, I don't know what he did. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel okay
and
about
also,
that. And I wish that they had explored it more.
For a vet, I'm just saying, shouldn't he be a bit more, I don't know, skilled and not be getting his ass beat 24/7 by everybody? This dude's a fucking punk bitch. He gets fucked over in the bar where What's-Her-Face has to come and save him, Watts, which is a ridiculous character on her own. And then when during this chase, he gets his shit rocked. He gets kicked in the face. He nearly drowns. Like, he is such a little pussy. Like, he can't take shit.
Yeah, and you know, I just feel like this. You know, from what the movie says about him, he is like this veteran turned private detective. And so something I wrote down as well was that like I would like this to be like more of a like gumshoe detective story. Like you were saying, like a slice of life, like maybe it's just him like solving a case.
Yeah,
and,
I would have much preferred that.
Actual solving. He just looks at people's memories and then sees things. That's not solving anything. He didn't figure it out.
Yeah, and like
it would be interesting if they could work like a murder mystery into this setting, and I think that would be a good movie. I think it's too much. It's doing too much.
The moment I knew
it's trying to be Inception. It's trying to be heisty, and it just isn't.
The moment I knew the movie had like turned, you know, like the fruit had spoiled, was when we're finally doing something different. He's helping them get an interrogation out of somebody, and then I'm like, oh, cool, it's a case. Who the fuck shows up, literally singing and dancing around like that chick from Justin to Kelly in the bar, having her own little fucking number right in the middle of somebody else's memory. And I'm just like, are we fucking kidding me right now? Like, are you joking?
Right.
And also, how would she have ever known? Like, how would she have known he would have found the guy that did this to her if there was a fair chance that he'd never go looking for her if he didn't get this random job?
Right.
Like, it doesn't add up. Like, the earrings weren't enough for him. He just went to Watts and said, she left her earrings. And Watts, like, very instantly washed it from his mind and was like, things pull up all the time in the gutter. And he's like, well, okay, fair enough. And then he goes and does that thing. And then he's like, no, I see her. There's more to this. If he would have never gotten that job, she would have had that whole conversation with that one guy and kissed him and all that shit. And it would have never been seen by anybody.
Yeah. And, like, it just doesn't add up. And I feel like that's very true about a lot of this movie. And I feel like if they had tried to do something less complex, it would have been a lot better. But they wanted to be like Inception. They wanted to be like a big movie. And it's like if you had just done something smaller, and then you could have really showed like the world that you built and like gotten into that. But instead, you got these like weird political overtones that you just drop.
There are cool things. I can list like a couple of cool things. Like, for instance, the woman who like kept reliving her memory and like was rich and like, you know, had that rich husband who cheated on her, by the way. He's out, she's in this room and the memory is inside of a clock store. So they built this testament of like her reliving this moment of time forever and ever. They put this fake clock store inside the building that she relives all these memories in. And I'm like, that's cool and aesthetic. I love like bits of universe that exist on their own and have their own backstory and don't need the plot to like dive in and overly explain. That whole scene was great, even though it was a little campy, but just because they didn't overly explain to you what was really going on and like the metaphor of it. But in other parts of the movie, they can't help themselves. They're like, you know what you need to do? Tell a story without telling the ending. That's how you have a happy ending. We're going to say that 8 times before the ending.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I just wish that this movie was as good as the aesthetics are. I keep saying that. That's just what I wish. Because, like, yeah, like that moment, like that was really cool. And, like, there were other things that were really cool, like that they could do with this world they built. Or they just chose to not do that.
As dark as it was, the burning of the body, where they like put him in like the most powerful, like, as fucked up as that was and made me hate that main character, I was like, well, that's an interesting concept that, like, you know, this guy is submerged in water and, like, can't escape this, like, burning sensation that, like, clogs his entire existence. And,
right.
you know, as bad as the burn makeup looks, it does make you catch your eye onto it and, like, obsess about it a little bit as you're watching. Like, what the fuck happened to this dude? And then eventually you see it, and it's a nice little moment, as far as, like, aesthetically speaking. But then when you break it down in the form of the plot, you're like, so Hugh Jackman's gonna torture this dude forever, even though the guy that he found out was responsible for this, he, like, did nothing to.
Right.
That's so correct. Strange. Why?
I don't know. And, like, I think that, like, there are serious character issues here.
Oh yeah, there's like
I don't think
Watts is fucking annoying.
Yes. And, like, as you said before, it's like the characters turn on a dime in order to do what the plot needs them to do. And, like, I said it before, May is nothing. She gives me nothing.
Nothing at all. There's no character to her. She's just a martyr in some ways. And, like,
yeah, she is literally the epitome of a character who dies to start the man's story. Like she is only there so that Hugh Jackman has something to do. And she doesn't get to be her own person with her own, like, wants, desires, whatever. Like nothing that she does really makes that much sense to me.
No. And
because we don't understand her.
And, like, it's so strange that, like, his part of his story too is just like, oh, all I want to do is just sit in the tank and fucking think about her. Well, then why'd you go through all this other shit? I don't understand.
Right. Like, you're in the same, like, he kind of, like, he figures out what happens, but he kind of ends in the same place he started. Which
Absolutely.
Is generally not a good thing for a movie main character.
No.
The whole idea of making a movie is so that your characters grow and change. And if they don't, there should be a really good reason why.
A movie is the movie's aesthetic is like intensely reflecting on the idea of non-action. Like the everything's capsized. These cities are flooded because we fucking killed the earth. But what she wants you to do as a watcher is understand that this protagonist would be better off just giving up and doing nothing.
Right. And, like, the whole time the movie is telling you, like, if you can't live in the past, you can't live in your memories, you can't, you know, stay focused on your memories and try to figure them out because it'll destroy you. And then what does Hugh Jackman do in the end? That.
And then his quote in the movie is the worst, where he goes, "Some people say that memories haunt you, but I say that people what was it? They memories haunt you, but I say that you haunt memories. LOL." Like, it's so bad. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
How does this conversation come up?
Referring to Hugh Jackman in my notes, I said, "Wow, he is so cool." Wow. Like, he's just supposed to be the cool guy detective, and he isn't.
Might I also add that he comes into a criminal investigation, and instead of asking about the crime in question, he's just like, "Where's my girlfriend? Have you seen my girlfriend?" Like, how unprofessional is that shit? I would be like, get the fuck away from him.
Yeah, and it's just so weird because, like I was saying, like, the stuff, you know, they take cases from the DA. That's interesting. That's cool. And yet it just goes nowhere. And it's just like, why? Why does it go nowhere? But yeah, the character of May drove me crazy. I think that set feminism back a couple years because she just is nothing.
Well, don't forget about the character of Watts, who just as easily was willing to sacrifice her entire existence over somebody who didn't even seem to really care about her.
I said in my notes, what is Watts even there for if just not to pine? Like, that's literally all she does. She just pines for him.
Pines, and also, there's actually another element, too, is that she just judges everyone. Just so...
Yeah.
And it's like, you were the one who's an alcoholic, and, like, it's annoying. And for her to constantly be like, you shouldn't chase your dreams, or blah, blah, blah. It's just like, do I need that kind of negativity? Like, I get what I'm doing is toxic, but all you're doing is sitting here telling me I should do nothing with my life.
Right. Yeah, I don't...
And then she truly does nothing. She just gets old, puts on bad makeup, her granddaughter comes in, it's like, yeah, I've been taking care of this old man for 30 years. Like, what? Why?
Right. And it's like this woman has no agency, like, or no reason to exist outside of Hugh Jackman, and I feel like that's an issue.
And also, is she
Like,
cool
I
with her
just don't.
daughter, or is she only cool with her granddaughter? Like, what happened there? Because I know that she wasn't cool with her daughter.
Right. And then, like, if she has a granddaughter, I presume that she, like, met somebody, fell in love with him, whatever. And it's like, so how did you explain to your husband about Hugh Jackman over there?
Well, she had already had the kid.
Oh,
There's
that's
a plot.
right. I forgot about that.
There's a plot point where he's like, "You turned your back on it," which was so dick. He's like, "You don't care about anything. You turned your back on your daughter." Meh. And it's like, why would you say that to somebody? That's so intense and really fucking shitty.
Right.
But whatever. But then the part that weirds me out is like she suddenly has this relationship with her granddaughter, and I'm like, okay, what happened with the daughter? What's going on?
Like, are we meant to assume that they worked it out? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
because all I got was a granddaughter. Am I assuming that the daughter died and you're taking care of the granddaughter now? Like, what am I supposed to think? And then they leave things like that so open, but then they expect you to remember the most insignificant characters from the beginning of the movie. You have to remember his war buddy.
Right.
You have to remember the lady who saw the same shit over and over again, and she's a big part of the plot. And it's just kind of annoying because the way they set it up to you is as though it is like a montageable moment. Like, this is just him doing his job day in and day out normally.
Right.
And then it ends up being
And, like,
the whole plot, and it's like, is anybody that he talked to not important to this plot? Is there any empty characters at all? Or is everything in his life based around this? And also, at the beginning of the movie, you hear a click of the recorder thing. I think that that's meant to mean that we're watching this all through him reminiscing.
And there's just too much going on here. That's my thing. Is like every time you mention something, I'm like, oh fuck, that happened. And it's just like there's too much in this movie. This movie has everything, and it's too much. Because it's like every character is somehow integral to the plot, and then you've got like the aesthetics, and then you've got this weird like immigration plot line and this weird political landscape that it doesn't quite care to explain. And then like he's a war veteran, he's also a detective. It's just too much going on. You've got the drugs thing, the Baca or whatever it is, and I hate saying
Baca.
that.
It's the worst.
Why did they call it that? Why do they choose to call it that?
I don't know.
It's really upsetting.
It's the worst title I've ever heard for it.
Yeah, that makes me want to say no to drugs.
Right? Like, I don't want to take Baca. Jesus Christ.
Right, like, ew.
And I don't like, and the Joe character, the one dude who like owns all the drugs and everything, he's the fucking worst. I mean, he's horrible. The way he talks to people is like how you imagine. Like, it very much was trying to be like one of the bad Matrix movies. It felt like in those moments.
And like the thing is too, like with the whole immigration storyline, I keep getting stuck on it because I really, truly, I barely understand it. But it's like we as the audience are supposed to think like, yeah, this is bad how these people were in camps and then the floodgates broke and, you know, they got drowned. But yet all the characters, all the bad guys in the movie are those people. So it's am I supposed to think that they're bad, or am I supposed to think that they're good and what happened to them was unfair? And then I'm supposed to support Hugh Jackman, who like literally was part of that, but he was drafted, so it's okay. Like, it's like, how am I supposed to feel about this?
And like, there is this moment of like, you're one of us isms where he's like getting kicked out of the lady's house, and then you see the tattoo on his arm showing that he was recruited, and the guy's like, next time I will shoot you. Does that mean that like you hold that gross moment in your guys' history where you drowned a bunch of people in higher regard than your job, in higher regard than other people's lives? That's so strange that you're so tied to that. That's very weird.
Yeah, it's just weird. It just is. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah,
and then
I'm kind of glad that the other two didn't have to watch this one, to be honest. It's just so bad. I don't know if they would have had a good time at all.
It's just, I'll be honest. I watched this at night and I fell asleep for a little bit, and then so like I went back and I rewatched what I fell asleep during, but like I did fall asleep during this movie.
Yeah, it's fucking boring.
It just drags. It drags in the middle hard. Like the first 20 minutes are pretty okay.
I mean, yeah, and it's just because you don't know where it's going yet. But don't you love it? Like the entire plot they keep re-bringing onto you. They keep like badgering onto you about like memory and how you don't remember things as simple as let's say you like if something's lost versus if something is missing, you know, like it goes over this whole idea that like something as simple as like losing your keys can cause all of this, and it's something, and it's so insignificant you can't remember where they were. And it's just kind of annoying that the whole plot, they keep reminding you, this is all because she forgot her keys, or actually because she didn't. And I'm like, I get it. I fucking get it. Quit beating me over the head with it. I understand. Insignificant things can happen that end up being significant. I saw the butterfly effect. It was more entertaining, oddly enough.
Well, also, like, you know, she didn't really lose the keys. That was, like, the in that she had.
I know, but that's the whole beating point.
Hugh Jackman would have known that?
No, because remember, they practiced it. They practiced the memory. And then what they did was he, like, memory for him is backlogged like files, right? So he can look up specific points of memories for specific things that they don't remember. So what does she do? She sets her up for the day where she purposely forgets her keys and puts things that will distract him, like a vibrator under the bed, which was weird. Right. That was super weird.
Yeah.
And then she sings this song, and it's because like he has it memorized. It's like his special song. And then she cries afterwards.
Special song.
Yeah, and then the special song is so dumb. But then she cries afterwards, and he never really questions her again about it. But it's so obviously because she's crying because she knows she's fucking over this person, and she feels guilty. And it's like, it's like so stupid. Like, he's supposed to be a detective. She randomly started bawling after singing his all-time favorite song for some reason in memories that she asked you to delve into. You didn't think anything about that, you dumb fuck?
He's not a good detective, I'll say that.
Oh my god, it's all the fucking all the water got to his brain, dude. He's a fucking moron. Like, if somebody like, okay, let's be less specific, right? Like, let's say somebody, I like, everybody knows that I'm fucking love Dragon Ball Z, right? Let's say I was a person who dug into people's memories, and one of their memories was them watching Dragon Ball Z, enjoying it. I would instantly be suspicious. And that is a widely known, widely popular anime show. This is some random fucking Riff Taff Tata fucking song from whatever age. And he has no questions.
Yeah. Right. He's just like, yep, okay. I can't. It's just... And then, like, the whole, like, White House, like, that felt like that was supposed to be some kind of metaphor, and it just, like, it didn't hit for me. I don't know. It's just, this whole movie is just weird. I don't like it.
And then, like, the way
they make strange choices. The filmmakers make strange choices throughout this movie that I don't understand why they made.
There's so many moments where they try to paint the Hugh Jackman character in a good way, and it's really, like, out of character in some ways. Like, for instance, like, we know this dude is into this chick, right? And she literally undressed fully in front of him. And he, like, didn't really look away. But then in her memories, he's like, what, is she decent? And it's like, the only point to put that in there is to be like, Hugh Jackman, good guy, not rapist. And, like, later on, like, the worry about this random child, he wasn't worried about any of the children when he sunk them into the ocean. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little confused on why he's so worried about this random kid that his girlfriend died for. This dude does not seem like the type to be, like, but it's another attribute. Another, like, he's like, I care about kids. You guys are doing this to kids. It's like, you did this to kids.
What even happened to the kid?
Oh, they found him. They found him on the white cupboard, cardboard cupboard, whatever fucking float. They found him out in the middle of the ocean.
Like, what happened to him after? Did they, like?
Well, presumably the son, the other one, went to prison for the things he did, and thus this youngest son, because the mother isn't cognitive enough to own her wealth, this youngest boy would take over the money.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which means that the wife who, like, keeps reliving her past, and of course the son who plotted all these murders, they're fucked.
Yeah. Okay.
Crazy.
Got it. Yeah, I'm looking at so when I first watched this movie, there was, like, no summary on Wikipedia. It was, like, a paragraph. And, like, now I'm realizing that somebody has since updated one, so that's kind of nice. I might have to peruse that later to figure out exactly what happened here. Because it's like overcomplicated and yet so boring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running out of things to even say about it. It's just so boring, and, like, there's so many elements that we could, like, address, and yeah, it happens in the film, but nobody who's watching is really walking away with half the things that happened.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm also running out of things because, like, what more can I say other than that? Like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for what it's trying to do. And I wish that this was a different movie. If I were making this movie, I would keep the setting and then just make it like a detective story about Hugh Jackman being a like gumshoe private eye.
Yeah, it would be much better. Much better.
And
holograms are cool. That's something I can walk away with positive.
yeah. Something that I said too in my notes, I'm just kind of reading over what I had written down. I said that May in the very beginning when she first comes in has very Jessica Rabbit energy. And like I feel like that's true, she does. And it just makes me think that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a better noir film than this one.
Yeah, it's like even the noir in Spider-Man fucking 3 is better, and there is noir moments in that, and it's even better in that context of the worst Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. It's better noir than this. You want to go ahead and rate it in Dipset?
Yeah, this is such a short episode. Oh my god!
I know, but it's just something to hold them over, and if people are upset with it, we'll just upload another one real quick. It's just the fact that the well is run dry at this point.
Yeah, I think that's true. And life has been so crazy, but this is fun. I'm glad that we did this.
Yeah, we'll definitely do more like these if, like, you know, we can't link up sooner. We'll figure some stuff out. We got other episodes planned of certain things. We don't want to give them away to anybody, but we have things planned.
Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, I will give it a 3.5 out of 10. I liked the way that it looked. I thought that it had potential. The hologram thing, that's cool. They did real holograms. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like the only cool thing.
But everything else, there wasn't enough movie to support it. And I'm a person who too will like really forgive movies for being more stylistic than they are substantial. Like I like that. I like movies that are very aesthetically pleasing that don't have a lot going on. And the issue is that this movie had too much going on. Like it was trying to be a very plot heavy movie. And I just wish it didn't do that.
Yeah, it was bad,
like
guys.
You said before, like if it was less, it would be better.
Less would be, like, in this case, less is better. Like, I think it would have been better as an hour and a half, stylistic, slice of life noir flick with this interesting background. Because otherwise it just feels long and tedious, and it feels like there's two elements of the story, the actual story itself and the atmosphere, that don't even really link up. They honestly contrast each other, because the story in question paints a hero, and the setting in question paints a villain, definitively both ways. And
noir main characters like this aren't supposed to be like somebody you root for 100%. Like traditionally, no. They're kind of more like in a moral gray area. And yet they try really hard to make us, they try really hard to make us like support him as the capital P protagonist of this film.
But with this, it was like the whole plot is like he's good guy, but then the setting is like he's really bad guy, and then you just end up with I don't care about this guy.
And then, as you said, every fight scene is just like him getting his ass beat. Like the action scenes aren't even good because
he just gets his fucking rocked, dude. Every fucking time he is not like he should not be alive with the amount of and like Watts went and murdered people for him, and then he's still gonna be cold. She murdered people for you, bro.
Right. And like, and it's just like the fight scenes are just like, I feel like the fight scenes are just an excuse to showcase more of the like world building and the setting than anything, because again, he loses every time. You know, the Joe death scene is telling, and I should have brought it up. So Joe gets shot in a way where his lungs are filling with blood, and he's supposed to die slowly. He talks with Watts. He's like, don't have me die like our people did, because apparently, you know, he knows that she's from the same neighborhoods he was. And so she shoots him in the head, and it's supposed to be a moment of like, wow, how humane of her. But she is not. Is she not the one who just came in and shot him in the lungs after some dude broke into his bar trying to start shit? Yeah, and like they constantly talk about how Watts is like a shooter in the streets. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a plot point, is that she's killed a lot of people. Yeah, she's fucked up. I don't like her. Yeah. And she looks horrible in old lady makeup. It's a shame, because I like that actress a lot. I think that actress is very talented because she's in Westworld. And I don't know what happened in this movie. Like, it just wasn't it. Yeah, I mean, it's not really the actress's fault. It's just like... For me, I'm going to give the whole movie a 2 out of 10.
I think that for people who have like a large affinity for Westworld in general, and you want to see somebody who really worked on that show take on their first feature, this could be an interesting time for you, maybe, but I would not go entirely sober or pay for this.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't see it in theater, and I'm glad that I wasn't sober when watching. And I think that might be part of it because it did like make the aesthetics a little bit more like dreamlike in a way. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, no.
But
ultimately I did
bad.
not like the movie. And it took me way too long to watch it because I was falling asleep and I kept having to rewind. But I did watch the whole movie. I want to be clear. I did watch the whole thing. I just fell asleep for a while, but then I woke up, sat up, and then went back.
I watched the first 20 minutes, Franny bailed, and then I watched the rest of it later.
Yeah. Yeah, Bridget was like, because I watched this without Bridget, and she was like, how was it? And I was like, no, it wasn't it.
No, it's not good, guys.
But yeah, I think the best thing that I can say about it is, or like the most telling thing I can say about it is something I wrote in my notes, which is what I said before, is that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a better movie.
Watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit instead. And that movie is tremendous in Minecraft too. That
movie is a great noir film.
It's definitely better than this one was.
It's so good. I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit so much.
On that note, if you liked this, make sure to comment, subscribe. If you like listening to me or to Franny when she's usually on this, but it's just me and Madison. But if you like listening to me, you can listen to A Pilot Podcast at youtube.com/apilotpodcast, or you can go to my main channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler. I post bonus clips from this onto there. I post like my own stuff, just anything you can think of, any spare things I have go up on that channel. And then also we have a TikTok now. You guys should check that out. Oh yeah. What's the TikTok name again?
What?
This is your guys' thing. What is this?
Yeah, no, but Bridget does it a lot. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna literally yell for her. Bridget, what's the name of the TikTok? What's the name of our TikTok? The professionalism.
This is all going in.
It's crosscutcinemapod.
At Crosscut Cinema Pod or podcast. You know what? I'm gonna link it in the description.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway, as you can tell, I have a real professional team over here.
Yep.
Yeah, and just in general, you can follow us on Twitter, youtube.com/crosscutcinemapod, right? That's what it is on Twitter? Okay. Or, you can follow me, Last Laugh Logan, Twitter, whatever. Follow Madison's, whatever. We'll leave all the social medias in the description. Do you have anything you want to specifically shout out?
What'd you say?
Is there any link you want to specifically shout out?
Oh yeah, just check out my Instagram where I make art and shit. It's gentle and kind, and then 2 underscores. So gentle and kind __, and I post art and other shit there. So yeah, you can follow that if you want. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say that this was actually really fun. I kind of like us doing like a very analysis heavy thing.
Yeah, and I think that especially since this just came out, the movie came out Friday. This is gonna be uploading the Monday after. It's like a quick review. It's funny, but it's also pointed about how we feel. Did I say? What did I say?
You said Monday. It's Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, Wednesday. My bad. So I upload on Mondays. So this came out Friday. The movie came out Friday. This is gonna upload on Wednesday. And it'll be really pointed and specific as far as the review goes, but also I know a lot of people are just going to see this because they always check out the home releases on HBO Max. It's a cheap thing you can do with your friends or family. So I know that people are going to be looking for somebody to come shit on it and just absolutely destroy it like it needs to be. And that's what we've done.
And I hope we did that for you. Yeah.
And if we did that for you, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com.
Yeah, and if you like things like this where it's just like me and Logan being very analytical and annoying, like film bro-y, let us know because I had fun.
For sure. All right, kids.
Yeah.
We're heading out. See ya.
All right. Bye.